Hello everybody, welcome back. It's great to see you again. Today I would like to show you how we can take our good old scale practice for guitar, which for a lot of us gets very repetitive and dull, and truly inject it with some amazingly useful right hand variations. We're going to focus on different picking directions and different picking combinations so that as you practice your scale, you truly get the most out of them, because at the same time, you'll be absolutely improving your right hand, your coordination between both hands, your musicality too, because picking is, of course, absolutely important for getting certain sounds out of your guitar, and it will all be done at the same time, so you'll be squeezing a lot more practice into your limited time than if you were just simply going up and down the scales. We might have touched upon some of these combinations through the years on the channel, but then you'll have it all in one place and you can go through it and apply whatever you find is useful for your own practice. Let's begin. Before we get to the picking patterns, of course, we have to pick a scale, and as you know, I try to keep things simple, and we're going to stick to C major, 3-note per string pattern for this video, and it goes like this. You'll find it here, and if you can pause the video and write it down, that's absolutely fine by me, and if you're my patron, of course, you can download a PDF with every single thing we'll discuss on this video, and there's a link below. So here's the scale position. That's the C major position we're going to use for the remainder of this video, so let's get into the patterns. If you follow me for any length of time, you know how much of a fan I am of strict alternate picking. I think it is the most universal and probably the most useful way of approaching the guitar, because it gives you full control of both directions. So if you only get one thing out of today's video, this probably should be it. Now, I know a lot of us think we know how to do alternate picking. It's down, up, you know, how hard can it be? But when we actually try and focus on any given scale and making sure that we're actually following strict alternate, for a lot of us it's kind of a wake-up call. So make sure you do this slowly and make sure you do it right. As a matter of fact, throughout today's video I'll play very slow. No need to be shredding. There's plenty of that on the channel if you want to look around, but today let's focus on making things as useful and as clear as possible. So as you might imagine, alternate picking means we start on a downstroke on the first note, and then we follow strictly down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, just like that. Now, because I chose this 3-note per string pattern, it's kind of easy to see if you're doing it right, because each string will start alternatively with a downstroke, down, up, down, and then an upstroke, up, down, up. And then it's the same thing 3 times, down, down, and up. And then when we return, whether we duplicate the top note or not, it will change the direction of the pick. Throughout today's video, we will repeat the top note of all the exercises. So without further ado, let me show it to you from close-up. Down, up, strict alternate picking. Now for our second pattern, we're going to stick to alternate picking, but I'll be a little cheeky here and ask you to start your exercise with an upstroke. And so it will be the same thing as before, but it will really mess up your brain to hand coordination, because you're just so used to starting everything with a downstroke. That's a problem a lot of guitar players have. So this will truly help you accept the fact that upstrokes and downstrokes are all the same thing, and they should all sound the same, and they should all have the same weight for your playing. Do the same thing as before, but start on an upstroke. It goes like this: up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and so on. Now again, you might think, well, after the first string or the 6th string, it would all be the same as before, down, up, down, up. Yes, but as you do it and as you speed it up, you'll find that this gives more problems than it should. So let me again demonstrate for you from close-up, and I'll go fairly slow so you can follow along. It goes like this. For pattern number 3, we're moving into a favorite and a very useful, actually, way of picking, which some might find easier, but the reason they find it easier probably is because they haven't truly worked on it, because getting it truly down is just as difficult as everything else on the guitar. As you might have noticed through the years, nothing is as simple as it seems, and it's called economy picking. Some people call it alternative picking. What it means is that as we move down the strings, the pick follows the direction of that movement. it's easier demonstrated than talked about. Basically, we're going to start with the downstroke again, just as we did before. So it's down, up, down. But now instead of alternating, because the pick moves from the 6th to the 5th string, we're going to keep going down because we're actually going down through the string. So it's down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, and so on all the way through. So every string now starts with the downstroke because I'm moving down. Now, as I work my way back, I will start with an upstroke. And because I'm moving up the strings, I will keep going for each new string, starting with an upstroke. So it's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, so it's kind of like a sweep picking thing, but of course we're playing more than one note per string, so it's a mix of sweep picking and alternate. Whatever you want to call it, it goes like this. Again, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. As I work my way up, just like that. It sounds very smooth, softer than alternate picking, but you should try to make all these combinations sound the same because you want a discrete movement for each note. Okay, so again, let me show it to you from close-up. Picking pattern number 4, we're going to split into 4A and 4B for obvious reasons that you'll see in a moment, and you can actually practice these two at the same time. It makes for a great companion one to the other, and it's so simple, at least on paper. All I have to do is play only downstrokes throughout the whole scale. Start with a downstroke, follow with a downstroke, and it's downstrokes all the way down. When I get here, I still do all downstrokes on the way back. Very simple, right? You'll be amazed if you haven't tried this yet, how difficult it is to tell this hand to only do downstrokes. I'm sure you've guessed already that pattern 4B is the same thing, but with only upstrokes. And if you find 4B to be like 3 times as hard as pattern 4A, there's nothing wrong with you. It's totally normal. The downstroke seems to be much more natural for people. I don't think it's because of gravity, right? But it has to have something to do with just the way the hand and the wrist move. But you can actually take your upstrokes to the same exact level as your downstrokes. As a matter of fact, I dare say that it's probably the most important thing you can do for your right hand is to have your upstrokes as confident as your downstrokes. As a matter of fact, in an ideal world, you shouldn't be able to tell the difference if you're playing downstroke or upstroke, which again, as you progress through these patterns, will give you a lot of insight into the previous ones. You'll be able to trace it back all the way to the first pattern, which was alternate, and you should be able to hear that your upstrokes are weaker or they don't sound as good. So you can always grow and learn no matter how simple your exercises are. A lot of great players, they spend a lot of time on the fundamentals even when you think they should be doing really crazy stuff. So let me show you the upstroke only, which of course is exactly what you think it is. We're gonna start with an upstroke and follow through only with upstrokes. On the way back, same thing. We want to get this full, rich sound. We want a tight attack. Just as you would ask of the downstroke, try to do it with the upstroke. Now for picking pattern number 5, I'm still gonna split it into 5A and 5B. Kind of have to warn you a little bit about this because it's a difficult pattern to master, but because we chose 3 notes per string today, it seems easier than it is. I did talk a little bit about this a few months ago in another video, and there I think I demonstrated it with the cage system, which makes it a lot harder. You'll see why in a second. The pattern is 2 notes downstroke and 1 note upstroke, like this. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Like that. And because I'm doing 3 notes per string, then it gets into a repetitive pattern, which makes it easier. Let me just demonstrate this with a pentatonic scale, which is the other extreme, which is only 2 notes per string. It would go like this: down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, where you can't really get into any kind of groove. If I do it on the cage system again, it would be down, down, up, 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 down. And so again, the down and up don't correspond with a string. So we work our way from the 6th to the 1st string like this: down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. And because we repeat the top note, the way back is exactly the same: down, down, up, down, down, up. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. Now, if you speed it up, that's another way of making it more complicated, because your hand will try to revert to alternate or whatever your favorite way of picking is. So again, let me show it to you from close-up. Pattern 5B, of course, is the same thing, but the other way around. So we're going to start with 2 upstrokes, followed by a downstroke. Again, it's included in a single string, and then repeated. And then our way back again is 2 upstrokes and a downstroke. Even if it seems easy, make sure those upstrokes are just as good sounding and just as consistent as your downstroke. And again, here it is from close-up. If you're really serious about your picking technique, I have a book here that's called Alternate Picking, and I have to say, if you work through this book, you'll be all set. I want to thank you so much as always for watching and for commenting. I love this little community we built. As a matter of fact, we're getting closer to 40,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you'd like to do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and maybe a like if you enjoyed the video. But the most important thing is that I'll see you next week for a lot more.